And we are live. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sanjeev, and today we're going to be doing a Forex breakdown on essentially any pair that you guys want. I'm going to be focusing on UJ, and if you truly want, I also have some crypto positions open, so I may be doing some analysis on crypto, even though we're mainly focusing on Forex, maybe at the end of the stream or whatever. So you guys let me know. I'm going to be posting on my Instagram quickly 1 second so we can bring some viewers in. I did send out an email yesterday to all of you who got the ebook that I have, and so hopefully you guys received it. I am starting this a little bit early, but we'll see. Okay, give me 1 quick second. I'm gonna place this up. There we go. Everybody joined. 1 quick second. This is my first time doing a stream, so I'm still getting used to the whole layout. And there are people watching, but how do I see you guys typing? Can one of you guys say something in the chat right now so I can see what is going on? Is the chat? Say hello to super chat. No, that is not what I want. Uh-oh. I'm not sure if you guys can see me streaming or not. Yeah? No, I turned it offline. Are you joking me? Oh no, we're back. Okay. Sorry about this. I really want to see if I'm properly streaming. Okay, there you go. Yeah, thank you, Joseph or Jeffley. I appreciate you. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna have this open right here, and we'll get it. Alright, so we're gonna be focusing on UJ first. Yesterday during the Asian session we pushed, and on Sunday we pushed a lot, which was I was really surprised about. I usually don't trade Sundays because you have to look at it as like liquidity is coming into the market, and on Sundays everything is usually quite slow, but we had a huge push up. So let's do our analysis right now. Alright, so I'm just gonna show you guys previously because I know a lot of you are like, how do you trade Sanji, blah blah blah. So this was a position that I have yesterday before I do the actual breakdown. This was during Asian session, and I caught a really nice buy once we essentially just came back down, retested the support area that I saw, and so I took my buys here and we went up. I risked 5% of my account, made 10, so it was good. It was a really good trade. It took me 3 hours to get this trade. I waited. This was Asian session, but I don't. This was 6 p.m. PST. Wait, give me a second. Let me go in the hour. This was 6:54. So right here, this candle right here is Asian open, which for me is 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We usually also have a pre-market push, so that's market setting up. And so that occurred at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I mean 4 p.m. sorry. That's when pre opens. So usually what happens during Asian is at the beginning, like pre, let's say 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So 2 hours before market open, we have a usual setup that happens. Like market will push down so people can get the best possible positions for the upcoming push for Asian. And that's what we can see right here. We went and retested the zone. So it came back, shot up, retested right here, which is why I entered. I didn't see it as a double bottom. My analysis was we just retested the trend line that I saw, and we are more than likely going to break out because we are in bullish momentum. And I only trade with momentum. It's just how I trade and what works for me. So that's why I traded like this. And as you can see, my analysis was perfectly spot on because we went to where I wrote or where I placed my resistance yesterday, which was wherever that is. Let's see where that is. So above this wick right here. So do you guys want me to do like how I actually set up my support and resistance? Can I have you guys talk in the chat? Because I'm not sure if you guys want me to just show you how I analyze my charts first and then go forth with that, or do you want me to like actually break it down completely top to bottom like how I do in my trading plan? So I'm looking to break down charts from top to bottom. So from 5-minute, or just show what I have. Okay, so I assume you guys want to see how I actually break down, because this is a technical analysis, of course. So I will leave this open so we can always refer back to it. But let's open a new chart, of course. Right click, we go to templates. We go to, that's EMA chart that I have open right now. And here is the naked chart that I have. And so I use naked all the time. It's just what works for me. I use EMAs as a confluence. And if you guys are not so sure what EMAs are, they're exponential moving averages. So essentially what they are is a lot of people use them if you're really good with price action, but you can't just focus solely on EMAs by itself. You have to have them as a confluence, like I said, and that goes along with every single indicator that you have. For me personally, like, price action is like the way to go. It's the only way to trade, because that's how you can see price move, you know what I mean? And usually what really, like, big traders, my first mentors, or the mentors that I have now, sorry, they all just, when they first started trading, like, support and resistance, like major support and resistances, and a lot of them still do that to this day. So it just really depends on your type of trading style, but you can usually get the best positions if you are disciplined enough to wait for the support and resistances to come. So usually when I'm setting up my charts, I put a line just to see where we have a lot of touches first. This allows me to kind of get a good visual of where I should put my rectangles, or quote-unquote zones. So right now we can see we have multiple touches, and that's how I go for my daily first. I don't really care about weekly that much. Weekly is nice, but I go from daily. It's just what I use. It works for me, so it's easy. Right here. And right now, actually, as we're speaking, I'm working on trading with JAFX. I know a lot of people don't really like them, but it's a crypto brokerage essentially, right? And it's been really useful. I've been able to flip my account like in a couple of days just because of the leverage that they offer, but it is really risky, especially if you don't know how to be really patient with your entries. Because now that we're done our analysis, you can see what I mean by being really patient with your entries. So place a zone, so I see that, then I delete my line. I just like having zones because I noticed when I just had lines, I would be solely focused on the line itself, and it wouldn't be useful at all, because what would happen was that I would enter at that line specifically, or wait for price to get to that line, and I would enter, and it'd be really bad because I'd sometimes be in drawdown. And as you saw from my previous position that I had yesterday, I had like barely any drawdown. That's just how I trade. Like, look, those were my entries, those blue, and then my reds were my exits. I really hate having drawdown, and I think everybody does, and there's no point to really like it. But that's why I like to just be very patient with my entries. And I usually trade the market open, but I noticed there was no trade that aligned with my trading plan. And that's one thing that a lot of beginners have issues with, is forcing a trade that necessarily isn't right. And so the mind tries to trick you into thinking, hey, like, I actually see something right now. But you have to be very disciplined in that aspect and know, like, hey, like, I'm done trading for today. I hit my daily percentile goal, and etc. So right now what we can see on UJ is that we're actually in a zone right now. So we may have a reversal. We never know. We'll see. The last bullish wick that we had was very strong, so we will have to see how market reacts. We'll break that down in a second. So, and just for easy sake, I don't really click the insert button. All you can do is press Alt and then I and S and R. That's like the shortcut to have rectangles, because I put them on a lot, and it's annoying to have to go and click it and do all that stuff. So this is really easy and very simple. So right here. Okay, boom. And right now, because we're in bullish momentum, we should be expecting liquidity. I mean, not liquidity, sorry. We should be expecting a lot of wick fills to be happening. And essentially what that means is my mentor, my original mentor, and still mentor to this day, he abides by that rule. And so essentially what it means is, if we go down into, let's say, the 4-hour time frame, right? we see that there is wicks right here, and so that can give us, oh, right here we can literally see that there's a wick right there on the 4-hour time frame. So what we can say is that because we're in momentum, we are more than likely going to be going up and filling that wick. So when we're looking at this chart, we have a bias for buys just by looking at this chart, because we can tell like, hey, we're more than likely going to go and fill right here. So of course this is an engulfing candle that we can see right here, but it really depends on how this next 4-hour candle reacts. So I don't trade this time usually. I never do. Like I said, I only trade Asian session. I'm slowly moving into New York. The reason why I don't is because it's just really painful. Like I hate waking up at like 4 a.m. to get ready for New York. It's not me. I like trading Asian because it's just easy. It's like I trade at like 3 o'clock PST to 6 and then I'm done. I mean, now it's changed from 4 because of the daylight savings. I mean, yeah, daylight savings. So that's one thing that's kind of annoying, but other than that, it's not really that big of an issue. So breaking down UJ, what do we see? Right now we can tell we're obviously in bullish momentum. We broke past this zone, so it may be possible that because we broke past this zone, we're gonna have a retest, and those are my favorite positions to enter because it's just very simple, and I'm gonna draw it out right here for you guys. So we broke out of this zone, more than likely gonna come back, retest to gain more liquidity and push up. Because if you think of it from a bias perspective, from like an institution or a bank, why on earth would somebody want to be buying right there? They want to have a better price to buy at. So usually if we look left, where can we see that there may have been some issues with price? We can see that price has touched around this area numerous times. You can see there's one touch right here, there's a wick right here, and there's another wick right here. So it is possible for us to come back and retest this before going up and possibly filling this daily wick if we end up closing like this or in bearish. So that's something we'll definitely have to wait and see. And one quick question for you guys. Are you guys hearing and listening like to all the background noise that's happening right now? My office is like right beside the street, so it can get quite annoying. And that's why I actually don't film in here anymore for audio and stuff, because it really messes up with my audio. But this is where I trade, because it's usually quite quiet when I come into trade. So like I said, we should be possibly expecting a pullback and then a push up, but it's also possible that UJ will push to, let's say, right around this area. So why did I pick this area out of everything? Well, we can see that here, this is a very interesting point. We opened up with a gap up. We touched here. We had a double bottom right here. We had a wick touch right here and numerous touches right here. So it makes sense that we had a rejection that was somewhat close to it. And if we dial down even closer, what we can see is that we almost came up to touch and fill this wick that we see right here. But we never fully did. It makes sense. We rejected. And depending, like I said, on how this daily closes, there's going to be a new daily in a couple of hours, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so right before Asian. Yeah, but it's not bad. All right, sweet. Thank you. So like I said, more than likely we will come back and touch around this area right here before pushing up in our bullish momentum, and we should be expecting price to possibly touch this area, this area within the week. So that's from my perspective. It really depends on how this candle closes. If we push back, and if we push back all the way to this zone, it's possible for us to just break past it and then continue our bearish, our full-on bearish that we had, because we were in previous strong bearish momentum. Although we did obviously break it out, and we can tell because if we draw a trend line right here, we broke past this. So in very simple terms, let's say we draw a channel just to confirm momentum, we can see that we are now in an upwards momentum. So very simply, from looking at UJ right now, I would be anticipating a pullback all the way to here, and maybe during Asian session get buys. And one thing for you viewers that are now watching, something that I've definitely noticed when I used to trade London session especially, was that when Asian was trending, London was always like how may I say this, an opposite trend, so it would go backwards. And I know that sounds really weird, but let's say, for example, I wish I had an example to show you guys, but let's say this is Asian, correct? Let's say this is Asian right here. London would usually be a pullback, and then there would be a continuation for New York. So if you guys are watching and you trade one of these two times or sessions, definitely take a look at that because it's very interesting. Like I said, I cut out London from my trading session because it is late for me. It's around 1 a.m. now, and I like just being normal and thinking of Forex as a business because it is. So I like to just go in from my regular times of 4 o'clock to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's just me. That's what works. But I know a lot of people like to trade New York first, then Asian, and etc. So it really depends on you and where you're from. You have to make your plan work for you and not to try to fit your plan. And a book that actually talks about that is, give me a second. I think it's called The End of Average. Yeah, The End of Average talks about it a lot. And it talks about how how the system shouldn't be focused necessarily on like the system itself. We shouldn't conform to the system, and the system should be conformed to us as individuals because we're all different. And so that's why, for example, when I have students or people join me, they always ask like, hey Sanju, can you give me your trading plan? Hey Sanju, can you give me this? And I say no, like I'll help you build one, but I'm not going to give you my exact trading plan. And the reason is because everybody has different risk management. Everybody has different, like there's so much to an individual when you're trading. And I know for a fact, when I first started trading, I didn't know I was going to be, like, I expected myself to be a swinger. When I first started, I was a swing trader. That's all I did. I was really calm and easy, but for me, I noticed I usually moved my SL when I first began, my stop loss, because I was like, no, price is pulling back, but I know it's going to go to this area, blah, blah, blah. I was so stuck with my analysis that I never actually looked at the charts properly, and I got very impatient. So that's just me as a person. I like being in the markets in and out very fast, and that's why I scalp just 10 pips, very easy. And the mentors that I have, they all have made their millions just from 10 pips. So it really depends on you, right, at the end of the day. And do any of you guys have any questions you want me to answer? Thank you, Kareem. I appreciate it. So this is UJ analysis. So like I said before, we're more than likely going to be coming up, more than likely going to be pulling back and then having a continuation. But it's also possible that we may, I'm just going to draw it out for you guys so you understand. So it's possible that price may do this, come back right here, up, to fill around this area that we have right here. So my favorite entries are retest. As you guys already know, I showed you my entry right there. It takes a while to enter, but it's very worth it because you have minimal drawdown. It's very simple, and it's just my favorite type of entering, and it's what works for me personally. So Forex, of course, is a trial and error process that you need to go, and that's one issue that I wish I didn't do when I first began, is that I started off with my accounts and I kept putting money into my accounts, and I honestly blew like my money because like numerous times I've blown at least like 6 accounts when I first started because it was just trial and error. Like all I did was reload, refund my account, and I was just stuck in a vicious cycle because I never kind of realized that it's like there's more to it than just like you have to have a plan. There's like you have to treat it as an actual business. And if you trade off your phone and you always trade on your phone, like please switch to a computer. I can't help you if you're trading on your phone because it's even on my plan. Like do not trade on your phone because on my phone I'm very 50-50, especially when I'm out or something like that and I try to trade on my phone. It's usually a losing position. So, and I like to stack a lot as well. Like I'll For example, I'll have 4 positions. I'll close, let's say, 2 at 10 pips depending on how price is moving, and then I'll let another 2 run, but the maximum I'll have them for is like 15 pips and 20 pips, and then I'm done. But on a phone, it's really hard to, let's say, like enter very fast or like exit really fast, and that's like the biggest issue that I have with trading on your phone. So it's very important, like I said, to use a computer. If you have a Mac, I'm not sure what advice to tell you. I had a Mac before. I just went and invested in a PC, and it's been so useful for me, and it's been very helpful. So like I said, this is our analysis breakdown that we have on UJ. Do any of you have any, let's say, like currency pairs you want me to analyze? This is my currency pair of choice. It's the only one I trade. I like to keep it really simple. I used to trade EU, so Euro USD, all the time. That was my pair. And then I switched to gold, and then I switched to UJ. This was when I was trial and error, like that whole process. But UJ stuck with me because I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna actually sit down and master this currency pair. And of course, I haven't mastered it. I'm still a student to the markets, but it shows you like, hey, this is like the way to go. And so you need to realize that like there is a lot to it and a lot of work that goes into it, and you have to, if you have the Forex simulator, if you haven't watched my video on it, you definitely should, because it's one of the best investments you can get. And I remembered that I wasn't able to afford it actually, because I went into debt from blowing so many trading accounts, and just a lot of shit just happened in my life. But I knew that like I needed the Forex simulator to move on. So what I did was that in the demo that you can get from the Forex simulator, if none of you guys can afford it or anything, you can go back in time and just actually like reuse the slots, or let's say like positions that you took, because there's a maximum of like 5, I believe. So I'll also be giving, like, I'll do a giveaway or something for like some of the keys, so you guys who can't afford it can get it. I'll post it on my channel soon. It just, whenever you guys really want that, just let me know and I'll do it. So do you trade crude? I've blown 5. You've been support to keep me going. I trade with crude oil. Crude oil? No, I actually don't trade crude oil. I actually got started yesterday and lost half my bankroll. Damn, dude. Damn. So, but you learned from that though. Hey, Joseph, it was something that like you open your mind to, and you were like, hey, this is harder than I expected. Like it's gonna be one hell of a journey for sure, but there's no better feeling than making like your weekly salary in one trade. And you will get to that level if you put in the work. I believe in you, even though I don't know you. Like, I know for a fact, it's like I've seen so many people come up because they had a reason behind their actions. So oh fuck. Yeah, see, your phone, the phone's like the worst way to go. So stacks on deck. No, I don't trade crude. I actually did for fun. I think I had one position when I first started out. I was like, oh, oil, oh, coin. I tried all of this because I had no mentor, I had nobody to actually learn from, right? And so in my head I was like, oh, you have to go to university to trade, but I never knew this was a full way to actually trade or learn. So that's what wow, it was a big journey for me. And I've actually only been trading for a year and a half, 2 years, but I became consistent because I've been very disciplined with my journaling. And if you guys haven't journaled yet, please, for the love of God, make one. Like, put it on Google Drive or Google Sheet, whatever. Just make sure to include why you entered and why you exit, your emotions, all of that stuff. Have your confluences and everything. And each week, go back and see why you took the positions you did. That was the biggest thing when I first started that I wish I did. It would have saved me so much time, and I definitely would hit my 10K a day goal if I did that when I first started. So yeah, no, journaling is like the biggest thing to do. 2 years for me, just got a journal, big help. Yeah, it's very useful. I highly recommend it. I made more when I knew that. Yeah, yeah. When I first started out, I always full margined my account by accident. I didn't even know. And there was this, I flipped my first account from 1,500 to 5K in one night. One night. Because I was just like, okay, like 100 margin levels completely fine. No, it's not. Like you should be using like, it really depends on your risk management. Like I said, like right now I personally use like a margin level of like 800. That's what works for me. I know I shouldn't be putting it out there and telling people also get ideas from it, but it's like I just want to be truthful with you guys, like with everything that I do, and I don't like risking a lot of my account. Like I said, I risk like 5% of my account per trade because I know it's a lot of exposure to my account, but the reason why I do it is so that I can make that 10% a day goal that I have, and I've been very consistent with it. Very consistent. The one thing is I have a mental block with let's say pushing my account past 10k. So for me it's like I'm good at turning my $1,000 account to 10,000. That's a breeze for me. But I first started out with turning $10 to $100. Then when I got used to making $100 easily, I would essentially go bring my $100 account to $1,000, and I would do that like regularly. That would be like my weekly thing. I would just like, I had a full margin account and a regular account. This was my FMG account, by the way. And so I would do that. I would gain momentum and confidence with my analysis. And so after that, now I'm at the point where I'm really confident and able to turn $1,000 into $10,000. Very simply, it's a normal thing for me. But my main issue is when I pass that 10,000 going to 100k, because $10,000 to me, I can't afford to lose 10k. You know what I mean? Like if something goes wrong, yeah, my target is 10k a day. Yeah, it is. I know it's crazy, but that's like my main goal. I'm just gonna be straight honest with you guys, is like being able to just put my parents, like, I just don't want them to work anymore. Like that's like my main goal, and I have a lot of aspirations that I want. So 10k a day is like my main, like I'm going to get it by the end of this year, and I know for a fact I will if I keep up with my compound interest. So that's, yeah, it's just, I've really obsessed myself with it. It's on everything that I have. It's like my nicknames in Facebook groups, all, it's like 5 figures daily, because like it's now a part of me. Like that's how obsessed I am with it. And I really believe it's good if you guys have a goal for yourself. Like in your plan, please have a goal. So stacks on decks, 2 years for me. Just got a journal. It's a very big help. What's a good broker now? Okay, a lot of good that don't take credit deposits. Seems a lot of brokers don't take credit deposits. Yeah, I really don't recommend using credit to trade. Oh, you talking about credit cards? Like, only risk money that you're willing to lose, and that can be anything from $10 to $100, whatever. And if you're at that point where you have to use credit cards to trade, I really don't recommend it, because you have an automatic psychology that's like, hey, if this is like, how may I say this? It's like you're not comfortable with losing the money in the first place, and that's why you put it on credit. That's just my opinion from what I'm thinking. So I personally believe it's really big for you to just like save up some funding, let's say like $100, and trade with that. That's really useful to do, and that's something that I actually did when I went from, when I was in debt, my girlfriend gave me $100, and so I turned my $100 account in the span of, I think, 2 or 3 months into 10k. And I was able to do that because I just like put my back against the wall, and I was like, I'm so deep into this Forex thing, I don't know what to do. And it was the last thing that I had to choose between, and so I just put my back against the wall, and I was like, I gotta do it. This isn't just about me anymore, it's about the family, all that stuff. And so I succeeded, was able to do it, pay off all the debt that I had, and etc. So I was really thankful that I was able to put myself in that situation where I obsessed over Forex. Like it was like I'd barely get any sleep, all that stuff, but it's paying off now, and I'm really thankful I did it. So I highly recommend to you guys, like, there's always, I have this quote right here that I just made. It's work harder, there's always more to do, because that couldn't be more true. Like there's always more to do with anything that you have at your hands. So I think it's very important for you to like look back and realize, like, I have one of the biggest opportunities in front of me through Forex and crypto, whatever it is. So I need to study it, and I want to conquer it. And so that's like one thing that really pushed me, because it wasn't just for me anymore, it was for the whole family. And I know I'm getting deep here, we're talking about technical analysis, but yeah, that's what pushed me, and that was my motivation. There's this book I'm reading right now here. I'll grab it for you guys. There's two. There's the Motivation Manifesto by Brennan Bouchard. Highly recommend getting it. You can actually get it for a deal. When you're putting what that time. Okay, so that's a really good question, Jeff. I just finished another book. It was called Deep Work. I put it on my Instagram story. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, I highly recommend it because I post a lot of like quotes, analysis, everything in my stories. Anyways, getting to the main point. It's called Deep Work, and so I'll come back to that question. But essentially, what it means is that if you're able to sit down and just like work with no distractions, your phone, all of that off, everything away, you will be able to like do work at such an accelerated rate that it's crazy, and your mind will just open up. So there's a lot of things that I took away from that book, and it's a really big investment in yourself. So I highly recommend getting it. Another big book, I don't have it here, it's in the other office, but it's called High Performance Habits by Brennan Bouchard. Highly recommend invest. It's literally like you can get it for $7. Like, I'm not lying to you guys. Like, yeah, on Amazon it's like 30 something, but he's doing deals right now for his books, so you can get all of his books for like $7. Like, I'm not lying at all. I'll try to find it. I'm actually making a video on it as we speak, so if you guys are willing to wait like a day or two just for me to edit it and put it out, just get it. Trust me, very useful. You have JAFX. I have You have. Okay. Yeah, JFX is really good. I use them. They're okay. I don't use them for like trading, regular currencies. I trade them for trading cryptos. And I literally, as we are talking, I flipped a $50 account into, I believe, 500 something USD. Here, give me 1 second. Yeah, so right here. It's not focusing, but one of my open positions right now is at 400 something USD. Yeah, so my account started off with $50. It's now at 580 because of the floating balance, and of course it is real. I don't do any of that bullshit here. Yeah, anyways, very simple. It's just I don't really trust JFX with like my whole account balance. It's more or less just like I said, I only deposited $50 into that because I knew I could easily flip that money because of how the way cryptos are going right now. And like I said, I literally just, you saw, I turned it from 50 to 500 and something floating right now. So FX Choice lets you use Bitcoin. Really? I have no idea who to be honest with you guys, I just use IC Markets. Like, IC Markets is my favorite brokerage. They've been really good with everything so far. I've actually withdrawn and gotten my withdrawals on the day of. So they're crazy. It's like I really recommend them if you haven't looked into them. Yeah, very simple. And Traders Domain's also really good, but they're having some liquidity issues right now. It's a brokerage that I'm going to be switching to soon, so that you guys can actually copy my trades. I know, I'm not sure if you looked into it before, but it's like there's a leaderboard, and so I'll be on the leaderboard and you guys can just literally copy my trades. I know I shouldn't be saying this on stream because I wanted to keep it as a surprise, but to the 11 of you that are actually here, I actually have been developing a robot for trading, and that's why I haven't been on YouTube for a month. I know I'm sorry for not posting, but that's why I wanted to make it up with a stream so I can talk to you guys. I've developed a robot, so I'll be letting those of you who are my students first to come in and actually, let's say, like take the trades that my robot does on your account. Then I'll be releasing it to the public once all my students have like at least made 100% of their account balance back, so they can just withdraw it and just let the money play by itself. So it's insane. I'll show you guys some profits right now. It turned, I believe, 1,500 into 18K in around, I believe, 3 months. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry for not being here. So let's see. So okay, I'm gonna click this. Okay, so let's say it says last 3 months right there. I'm gonna click that, and it doesn't show. Anyways, it's 14,000 it made in the last 3 months, and I wish I could show the back, like where I deposited, how much I deposited. Honestly, I have no idea what to do. But yeah, it'll be out. It's a swing trade bot, so it took my scalping strategy, applies it to swing trading, and it just trades momentum. It's a very simple bot, has minimal drawdown, and it's been working. Like I said, I've been developing it since December. It's been on a demo account, I know, demo, but it's been using the real spreads, all that stuff. So, and real-time trading, of course. And I turned 1,500, like I said, to 18K. And just to prove it to you guys, 18, it's like at 17 something right now. Yeah. So that's, yeah, it's doing really well. So I'm going to be letting the students and people that I mentor, like, jump on it first to take the trades that it does, and then from there I'm gonna be putting it public. So you guys will get it probably like a month later, but you will, I promise, get it after. I just want to make sure that it has a proper track record on the Traders Domain website, so it is pulling profits and everybody's more comfortable in actually depositing and trusting it, because I don't want to risk anybody's account. I know how painful it is to lose fundings and money, so I don't want to put that risk on anybody. You guys have any, yeah. You guys have any questions or anything? Oh yeah, somebody wanted GJ, hey? I think I saw somebody asking for GJ. Was it you, Jeffley? Anybody wanted another pair to trade? Anything? Or just UJ? I want to ask you guys, like, what do you guys trade? You have, like, you focus on one pair and you trade one session? That's actually one of the key gems that I highly recommend, and it's something for people that I get, like, mentor. I just literally make them sit down and watch one entire session from pre-market to, let's say, like 3 or 4 hours in. I make them study the charts so that they can see where things start to move and happen. And so that's what happens to me. I mean, that's what happens. What am I saying? That's what I did, and that's what helped me become very consistent with UJ, because I know how it moves at certain times. I know how it, you know what I mean? So Neo USD. What is Neo USD? What? I have never heard of Neo USD. Give me 1 second. Let me try to find it. Neo USD. Is that a regular crypto? I mean, that sounds like a crypto to me. What? Gold UJ USD Canadian CAD UJ. Okay, I'll do gold for you first. But I don't even know what Neo USD is, to be honest with you. I just want to search it up because that's so Neo. I've never heard of it before. Neo. Wow, I've never heard of this before. See, like, I haven't looked at all of these different types of pairs. Like I said, I just heavily focus on one pair, and that's all I do. So you guys asked for so I'm gonna be doing gold first because gold is directly correlated with UJ. They move in opposite waves, and it's just easier, so we can confirm how it's more likely gonna move just by looking at this UJ chart. We can see that we are now in bullish momentum, which means that gold is more than likely gonna be in bearish momentum, and because we're more than likely gonna pull back right here, that means gold is probably pushing up. So we'll see. Let's open it up. Let's see if we're close or kind of right with what we just said. So let's take a naked. Okay. So like I said, we were in bearish momentum, and gold, look at this daily right here. Yeah, see? Chart's just loading. See how we just had bearish momentum because UJ just pushed up. And right now, because UJ is pulling back, that means gold is going to be pushing up. So yeah, that's the thing. I didn't really like trading gold because, like, if you're on the wrong side of a position, you can get screwed if you don't have an SL, of course. But like, look at these moves. Like, it's like, how many pips is that? Like, it's a crazy amount of movement that gold is, and it's very volatile. So okay, let's do some analysis. Let's break it down, make it very simple. So like I said, I put lines down first so it's easier so that I can see. So I'll break it down right here. Very simple. You guys have any? Yeah. Okay. So right here. All right, perfect. So that's everything that I see just by looking at the daily. Like I said before, I use the rectangles so that I can just easily open and close. This guy right here. So gold is a very interesting pair, to say the least. It just moves. Like when it moves, it goes in that direction like very hard, as you can see. Like look at this daily drop that we just had. So it's a very fast moving pair. The fastest moving pair I know though is GJ, which is, I just caught a recent move in gold. That's really good, man. Stacks on deck. That's sick. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Hopefully use that money now. Withdraw like the money you have and just keep it. Yeah, shorting gold would be a really good option actually right now. Don't take that as a signal, but I'm just saying, like, if we look at it, this is where price touched a lot. I'll go into lower time frames in a second. I just want to be able to look at a higher time frame point of view and just see like where we have a possibility to continue going. So okay, this guy can go here, and just keep these guys right here. Anyways, okay, so let's now go down closer and see where we've had numerous touches. So I put this little line right here, and the reason is because if we go and check, we've had numerous touches here before. We'll break, come back, we'll touch, and so usually this would be on a lower time frame I would look at. And so right here we had numerous touches as well. Like we can see that we gapped up here, we touched back before pushing up. We've had numerous touches here before pushing up, numerous touches here. So this is an important zone. We had a double bottom here before going up, so I'll put that there as well, and right here. So right now, just by looking at this chart, it looks like we just broke past a bullish. This is how I trade. I just put a trend line. We broke past this trend line. More than likely going to have a retest right here before going down. But if we wanted to be more strict with our analysis and entries, let's see where we've had issues. So we'll get closer to the charts. Right now, when I look at the charts, we've had issues closing above where my line is right now. And we can tell by just looking left. Like look, we've had issues closing downwards, we've had issues, we've touched here before, we couldn't close above here, we couldn't close above here. So this is an important zone. This is like a minor resistance level that we have. So it's possible that we're more than likely going to keep going down, or we'll push up, gain more liquidity here, then go down. But it's also possible, like I said, for us to just shoot back up. But we touched here numerous times, and we've touched here numerous times as well. So gold right now is kind of like in a box. If you look at like a weekly, yeah, see, it's really ugly. So what we can see though is that we're more than likely, from my analysis that I have and thinking about UJ as well, it's possible that we're going to continue this bearish momentum. Because we did break past this trend line, we'll usually have a retest of the trend line and then a continuation downwards. So it really depends how gold reacts to this minor zone that we have right here. The thing is, there's not a lot of liquidity in the market right now. I'm not sure what time it is, to be honest with you guys. No, New York is still open, but no. Like, don't say it's nothing bad. I was just saying, like, I don't want anybody in the chat to be like, oh, I'm gonna go short gold right now because of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, gold does look like a good sell. I do believe in what you just said. So that was a good position on your behalf. I'm not sure where you shorted, but from my analysis, I can definitely see us like pulling back a little bit, and possibly, like, if I was a swing trader, I would possibly take a sell right there, another sell right there, and I'd put my stop losses like right here, because I'd be expecting a drop all the way here and a possible like breakthrough, because if we were to break through, we'd more than likely retest this zone before coming back up. So I'd close, let's say I said I have 4 positions open, that's just how I trade. I'll close 2 right here depending on how strong our push down is, and then if we continue just break past it straight away, I would close the rest of them remaining here. And so that's one thing that I had an issue with when I first started trading, is greed. Like, I got very greedy, like a lot. So even if I was up like 20 pips, I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna close, it's gonna keep going up. And next thing you know, I look away at the charts, I come back and I only got 5 pips out of the 20 because price reversed. So you have to focus not necessarily on the money, but focus on where you should be entering and exiting. That's the most important thing. So like if price comes here, I know for a fact that I'm going to be like securing profits. You know what I mean? If I were to short gold, because this is a really important zone. Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze. Because this is a really important zone, because we can look left and see how many wicks we left even here, you know what I mean? So it's really important to kind of just understand that and be very disciplined in that aspect of like opening, closing, opening, closing. And like I said, I have 4 positions, so sometimes I look at a chart and I'm like, damn, like I wish I kept this going, because it's more than likely gonna keep on going with this momentum. So I just let one run, and at the end of the week, that like one run that I left may add up to another easy 10%. You know what I mean? So just extra pips. And like I said, I like to look at it as like a business. So if it goes past my trading time, let's say like I trade from 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, now it's 4. Excuse me as this bus goes by. As it goes by, sorry, 3 p.m. to like 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Like after 7, if I still have positions open, I'll secure half my bag and I'll let the others run. And it's very simple because of that. Hey, give me 1 second. I forgot to put my Instagram story up for people. We have around 15 people right now watching, so that's really good. But like I said, we will more than likely, from my gold analysis, continue our bearish descent. It really depends on how we push up. If we have an engulfing here, that may be an issue. But like as we can see right here, we've had numerous engulfings before and we haven't continued straight downwards momentum. I don't know how like gold works. I don't trade gold, but it's possible for us to push here and then come back, because this is a stronger, let's say, minor support. I mean, now resistance. So you guys wanted me to do another analysis. Anything else? New Zealand dollar and GJ. That's really different. 1344.74. 1344. Yeah? Okay. So that's where you shorted from. That's really good. That's a really nice sell that you got. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you. So hopefully you're taking the compounding interest very seriously. You have to be very strict with that, especially you guys. Like, it's very important to be very grateful for the percentile that you're receiving from the market, because the market at the end of the day doesn't owe you anything. Like, you have to look at it as like a mafia, you know what I mean? Like, you're taking money from these people. That's a bad way to say it, but it's like they don't owe you anything. It's like at the end of the day, like, run with the pips and the money that you have. Like, you should never look back. And that goes alongside with like cryptos and stuff. It's like, yeah, I want to get like the best position and let it run to the top and continue pushing up, but I know for a fact that like we can only go up so much before we have to reverse to get more liquidity to continue pushing up. And so that's why it's very important, especially if you have a leveraged account, because leveraged account trading is sketchy with cryptos, is to be very disciplined. If you say you're gonna take, like, you're gonna exit there, exit there. And one of the biggest things and advices that I can give to you guys that are watching right now is intuition trading. So it's like, if you feel uncomfortable with a position that you have, exit. And the reason why I say this is because I notice before I would force my trades and I'd be like, why the hell are my trades not lining up with my analysis? Like, it ends up going my way, but we reverse usually for another liquidity grab before continuing the way that I wanted to. And so I'd have this intuition now where it's like, hey, pull out, hey, this, enter now, hey. So it's my mind telling me, because I've seen it so many times, to enter and exit. And I know it sounds crazy. I can't really describe it to you guys, but when you ask like mentors and people who are consistent, it's really hard to describe it. But it comes, I promise you, it comes from chart time analysis and just beating on the craft. There's no other way to say this. I definitely wouldn't have had that if I didn't sit down and do simulators. I now do a simulator every other day. I used to do it every day, but that just kind of burnt me out, in all honesty, because my plan now is pretty rigid and strict, but I am learning on a daily basis, and because of it, I can get positions and entries like this. You know what I mean? I can minimal drawdown, nothing. And that's all from me working my ass off, in simple terms. So, like I said, it's very, very, very just up to you at the end of the day. Like, if you want to put in the work, like what your goals are. Like, let's say, like, for me, it's like I want to make 10K a day, right? Oh shit, like that's a lot of money if you think about it. Like 10K a day is like a decent amount of money. So how do I go from that point right now, if I'm making like a couple $100s a day right now, to 10K a day? Well, we go down to a compounding interest perspective and point of view. We check and see, like, okay, if I continue doing this for X amount of months every single day, I should be able to reach this point. And so one thing that I personally have an issue with is being very patient with my compounding interest. So I have to work on that. And I asked my mentors, like, hey, what did you do, like, when you were growing your account? How did you just get to that level of patience where you were able to sit down and actually watch and be patient with the whole process? And he says, you build that over time because you start to understand that this is the only way to do it. And so I have to get used to that. It's something I'm not used to. It's something that I'm not necessarily uncomfortable with. But like I said before, from the mountain that I'm looking at right now, it looks huge. But I know for a fact that I'm going to be able to do it because the hard work and everything will pay off. And I put in a lot of time to this craft. And I know you guys, if you put in all the effort and exude everything that you have into it, you definitely can. And so that's why I stopped my business. That's why I did so much, because Forex takes a lot of energy away from you. Just staring at charts all day, doing all that stuff, like grinding it out. It's like actually trying to get a degree, whereas you're getting paid straight away. So that's my biggest advice that I can give to you guys, is like intuition trading that you'll build up, patience of the whole process. That's something that I'm working on right now with, and just being able to look at a chart and, like, after a while you'll be able to break down charts really easily, like how I'm doing right now. If you look at my journals that I have, you'll see that all my analysis is usually on par. Like, I can tell where momentum is. I don't know it exactly. It's not like I can dictate, like, okay, price is gonna push you up here, come back here. But if we go back to this chart, like, I haven't touched this chart since I, like, literally, like, woke up. I came here, turned it on, and I was like, oh, why not just show it? So look how accurate my line was. And I promise you guys, I never did anything. Like, I put this down yesterday, and the reason why I put it here was because I saw that we're more than likely gonna have a wick fill right here because of momentum. And so I'm like, okay, usually sometimes we don't fill the full wick, and it's really difficult for us right now just to continue pushing up. And so I was looking left, and I was like, where did price close or have issues with? And we saw that we had issues closing below this point right here. We had issues closing here. We couldn't break past up here before, and we had numerous times where price just couldn't close above here. So I was like, okay, this is a strong point. And truth be told, right now, look where we are. And so I put this all out yesterday. I'm like, okay, you're just more than likely gonna go up here. Woke up, now we're here. So, and one thing is, you have to be very, very confident in your analysis. Like, when I do live webinars with trading, it's more or less like when people are like, oh, price is gonna go this way, price is gonna go this way. It's like you have to not care what anybody else says, because my biggest issue when I first started was I cared so much about anybody. Like, if somebody's making like 10K a day already, of course I'm gonna be influenced, like, okay, what position they're taking, what position, you know what I mean? Because I want to see how they trade. But you shouldn't. You should not take signals, because you're only hurting yourself. And I found that out the hard way, because I wouldn't necessarily listen to my own analysis, and I would lose confidence in that sense. So, excuse me, I'm burping a lot, I need water. But that's something that I had issues with, and it took me a while to get over that. And to this day, your subconscious mind is so powerful. It's crazy. I don't really talk about it this much, but over the past month, I've also worked a lot on meditation and just calming my mind down for trading. And it's very, very useful in that sense, because no matter what, your mind's always going to be thinking when you're trading. That's just how it is. You can't really get rid of it. You can, how may I say this? You can't get rid of your emotions while trading. There'll always be a tiny bit. but you can work with them. You can work with your personality. And so that's one thing that you have to figure out, and that's why you do a trial and error process through Forex. Like, I have a journal where I have tons of notes and everything on Forex because, like I said, bring a notepad, a pencil, and just sit down and watch everything. Take screenshots, put it on your computer, whatever it is. But I promise you guys, it'll be well worth it because you'll be flying with colors. You'll be profiting, you'll be consistent, you'll be building up momentum. And at the end of the day, the only thing that should be changing, of course, is your lot size. You'll be able to risk more. Like I said, I have a regular account and then I have my FMG account. And my FMG account's like what brings a lot of funds to me, of course. But that may be an issue because now it's like I can't be patient enough waiting for my compounding account to grow. So it's stuff like that. Let's say, for example, price pulls back a little bit more. For me, it's like I use 4 positions instead of 1 because I don't want to be like 10 pips or 15 pips of not 15, like points, sorry, 15 points in drawdown if like before price pushes up my way, especially with a bigger position. So I would like to spread, take little jabs at the market before price goes my way. And so that's something that I highly recommend like checking out as well, because I used to only use like 1 position when I first started out. So it all comes with trial and error. And what I do, for example, is when I enter, I'll move my stop losses to where my original stop loss was, so I don't lose even more in case price goes the opposite way. So it's minor things like that that you will find by using the simulator and taking it as a real time thing. Like, actually, if you're profiting a ton on the simulator, why aren't you profiting a ton in your regular account? Yeah, you may be FMG on your simulator and stuff, which I don't really recommend, but if you're risking like 5% on the simulator, which you can put 5%, like, you'll be able to see your account grow over time. And it's really beautiful because like it shows you like, hey, like, this is a whole process. I've done it here and I can now do it on my regular account. And like I said, it's all confidence that you have. You build it up and it's really strong. It's really helpful. It's not to the point where it's like, hey, I'm so confident I'm gonna full margin my account right now. It's like, I trust my analysis. I know where price is gonna go, or well, I have a bias for where price is gonna go, and I'm gonna execute when I think it's gonna go that way. And so that's something that I highly recommend like using. It's the biggest tool that I've used, and it's something that I always push out to people because it's so important to have. And if you guys haven't already, I think I made a video on it. If you haven't purchased it already, like, I highly recommend just doing so, because it's the best $100 you will ever spend in your life because of how much of an impact it will make in your trading. It was one of the biggest reasons why I became consistent in very simple terms. Aside from journaling and all that stuff, I believe I have it right here. It is called How to Master Any Forex Trading Strategy. You can search it up. It's on my channel. I believe that's it. But it talks about all that stuff. And it's very, very useful because, like I said, you go back in time and actually treat it like a real market and have a journal for your backtesting simulator. So you can see, like, why didn't I profit in this position? Why did I profit in that position? And instead of using real money, it's just way faster than using a demo account. You know what I mean? So just do it. Trust me, you'll thank me a lot later. I know I shouldn't just be forcing it on you guys, but I highly recommend it. And I have to get going now because I have some errands to run. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. And I do want to make it a weekly thing. So please let me know if you guys want to. I'm going to be ending it off here. So my name is Sanjeev once again. If you haven't already subscribed, I highly recommend doing so. And that'll be all for this. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next week. Bye.